from the booze are shouting your mouth off. You're not going to touch him. You know, defending Peter Dillon. Starkey's got a bit brave, pulled the piece out. Pulled the 357 out. Started thinking he was mad with it. Danny screamed at him, you little cheeky cunt, you pulled it out, you better fucking use it. And chased him. So Starkey's running away now. And he's about 100 yards in front of Danny up the street. You know where he's got on his toes from Danny. Without looking, turned round and let a few shots off as he was running. One of them bullets has gone right through Danny. Right out the back. About a millimetre from his heart. You know, nearly ripped his lungs and everything out of his body. So Danny's took it. Still having it, still screaming about on the estate. All of a sudden he's realising he's in a bit of a mess. Police and the ambulances have come. Danny's refused. Don't want nothing to do with yous. He's just fucked off to me ma's. Where me ma had been thrown out of a window by me dad. Me dad threw me ma out the window when we was kids and snapped her back. So she had this powerful medication off the doctors to deal with her back. So Danny's just gone to me ma's, plumbed himself in and all this shit, and took me ma's meds and fucked off. Went down to his apartment on the Dock Road. But with what had been going on with him, the feds have managed to get into his apartment without him being there and bug it up. So for months they've had him under obs for supplying drugs, and they've got listening devices in his flat. Now he's being shot off, this kid. He's in this flat. He's on the phone speaking to kids, going, look, I need this, I need this, I need this, and I need this. I'm going through the family door in the morning and they're all gone. And he's serious. He's going to do it. That's the way Danny moves. He was on, when he's saying, I need this, I need this, I need this, and I need this, he's got all the firearms. He's got 4 suits. He needs 1 more forensic suit. That's what he was looking for, forensic suits. They were going in forensic suits and just going to wipe the family out the next day on Rockfield Road. The police have heard it. The police have heard him saying, bang, get me this, get me that. They're going in the morning. That night, took his door off and nicked him for supplying. Never mentioned nothing about gun charges or nothing like this. Just nicked him on the supplying because they knew, if we don't take him off these streets tonight, we've got a full family murdered in the city of Liverpool tomorrow. So they just ripped him, took him in, put him in custody. Now listen, before he's gone in custody, there was a meeting between the head of intelligence of Merseyside Police and the head of security in Walton Prison. This is before Danny's arrested. They're already earmarking him up. Listen to what they done. Proved documentation of the government to say, yeah, people was let in your cell to put listening devices in your cell. It's all proven, documented. So what they've done on B-Wing in Walton, the police and the screws, B-Wing's the remand wing, right? What they've done on there, I marked a pad, a cell, put a telly in the cell, portable telly in the cell, with a listening device in it. They bugged Danny's cell up. Now Danny's still raw, still wounded up to fucking jail, coming down off all his madness. He's on a phone in jail now, screaming about the kids, the bakers, the ones that give Starkey the gun. You know, Tommy Baker, they wanted Danny dead, and they give Starkey the gun to kill Danny. So no, Danny's in a cell now in Walton, screaming at these bakers, that little fat shitter Ben Baker, writing him off in the cell. Not understanding that he's being listened to. Do you understand? 3 months later, they nicked Danny. Conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to possess firearms, where he's in the bug. Now when they've got the recordings back over the drug, they've got him blending, him and his bird. They've got his bird and that in the apartment, blending swag, you know, bashing swag and shit. He got 8 years and his bird got 3.5 years. And they were in jail. And then a year later down the line, they just popped back up with the rest of the recordings. So when they've took him down on the drugs case, they haven't mentioned nothing about anything to do with the shootings and shit. They just took him in on the drugs case, got him convicted on the drugs case, got him in custody on the drugs case, and then a year down the line come back for him on these recordings against this Starkey kid. Nicked him a year later whilst he was in custody, charged him with conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to possess firearms, conspiracy to blackmail, all these big mad offences they had on him. But no gun, no dead person. All they had was Danny high as a fucking kite on mother's medication. I think he was smoking crack as well at the same time. Off his fucking barney, chatting major shit on a bug. And that's why he was arrested, for chatting, I'm gonna kill, I need a gun. So they never recovered no gun, never recovered no body or nothing like this. No one was shot dead or nothing like this. But they still charged him on conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to possess firearms with people unknown. They put him in court on a conspiracy to murder trial. They were looking on giving him a 35 rec, mate, for saying I'm gonna kill you. Honest to God, mate, they were trying to sink him with a 35 rec. The jury couldn't make a decision. So the prosecution now have offered him a deal. We'll drop the conspiracy to murder, we'll drop this, we'll drop this, we'll drop this. But you need to go guilty to conspiracy to possess a firearm. And under the Goodyear ruling, we'll make sure you don't get an IPP sentence, you'll get a determinate sentence and you'll be released in 5-6 years down the line. So Danny's went, fucking go on then. Turn his hand in, guilty plea. The judge gave him a sucker punch and gave him an IPP. Hit him with a 4-year IPP and he's been in now for 14 years. And that's what the feds do to you when they want you, mate. And when they've got snitches working for them all over the gaff. Liverpool is full to the fucking brim of people that cooperate with the fucking law on a regular basis, mate. And it's the faces and it's the hard knocks, one with the big 40 grand cars that never goes to fucking jail. They've been cooperating all the fucking lives, mate. And you know what? I said it the other day. You don't realise till you've been on a murder charge just how rife the snitching is. Trust me on that, mate. Trust me that you don't know how much snitching is going on around you until you're roped in on a fucking murder charge, mate. Because you get everything in that paperwork. Everyone who's opening their mouths lightly, fully, whatever. Any little murmur, it's all documented in their murder investigations. And the people that were turning on me, you'd never believe it. One of the boys' Mars switching and shit. His uncle switching. Do you understand? We had Tony Christian snitching on us, mate. Do you know how deep that is when I tell you that? Do you know how mad that is that you've got one of the Christians snitching to the feds about you for over a year? Think about what I'm saying to you, people. Right, we had this kid round us called Yinka. We had a couple of the Christians round us. We had John and Anthony. John, I think it's John. Yeah, John, little John boy and Anthony. Anthony Christian was grafting with us on a regular basis. Every day he was on the phone, grafting, shifting, taking parcels here, taking that piece down there, listening into the conversations, the troubles and all this shit. And every day he'd go back home to Thirlmere Road. You know where Thirlmere Road is, don't you? Well, this kid's called Anthony Christian. And he used to live with a lad called Kevin Wheatman. And he used to live in the same house as Kevin Wheatman with a man called Tony Christian. Now, Tony Christian had a handler. Do you know what a handler is? It's someone that handles an informer. So he'll be called Bill, and Bill will go to his grass's house every fucking so often and get the information and jot it down and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's a frequent thing. So when this copper Bill is going as a handler to Tony Christian's house, and you've got Kevin Wheatman as a child, you've got Kevin Wheatman as a 15-year-old boy in this house watching his dad give information to the feds on a regular basis. You telling me it doesn't run in the fucking family, are you? Now think about what I'm saying to you, mate. You know, Tony Christian, his family are well known in L5. Tony Christian's like the dad of a big family. The Broads, the Ellises, the Christians. You know, Peak Fitness, all that firm. Tony Christian's like the dad of them. He was snitching on us for a year. Now when I get convicted on the back of the information, basically, you're on it. So I get out, and I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs that your dad snitched on us. I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs to these people that are attacking me on the sly, your uncle grassed on us. I'm not screaming none of that. I can't be arsed screaming any of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? 6 months down the line, all of a sudden, Kevin Wheatman's calling me a grass. The audacity. He's running round, he's jumping on the bandwagon now, aren't he? You know, all the local drug dealers shook to fuck, they're now all calling me a grass. I've just done 18 fucking years and my codees, every single one of them fucking walked. How dare you call me a fucking snitch, mate? How dare you call me a snitch when it came out in my murder trial that your dad has been informing on us for the past 12 months. So it's my turn to scream snitch, but I've got proof. It's factual what I'm screaming now. Your dad's a snitch. You want to call me a snitch? I'm exposing the biggest snitch on Thelmere Road right fucking now, Tony Christian. Bang! As soon as I started giving them it back, guess what? The Broads, Thomas Christian, Frankie Christian, all these start screaming their fucking heads off. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why all them come at me now, because I'm telling truths about a snitch in their family, and he couldn't handle it. That's why they switched on me. Your Brian Broads, your Sean Harris's, you know, all them horrible, dirty firm of fucking rats. Could have blew a snitch up that's amongst them all their fucking lives. And they still mix with that Yinker and that now. Yinker's still selling drugs with them all. Full-blown snitch, your man Wheatman. Kevin Wheatman took up the role of informer from his dad. I'm telling you that now. There's a reason why Kevin Wheatman... Listen to this. Kevin Wheatman got nicked with a firearm and 60 bits of each. Never got charged. Never went to jail for it. How? How? Every time you're seeing a bit of evidence on the Lamb and the Eves brothers and them kids off Breck Road who had the big conspiracy all gone to jail now, every single bit of evidence towards the Lamb, CCTV, pictures, guess who's on it? Guess who's on every bit of fucking evidence in that whole trial? Kevin Wheatman. Every other kid on them pictures ended up in jail. Kevin Wheatman never. Oh, I wonder why that is. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the way it is, mate. So that's why you get rats in peak performance chatting shit behind me back about me. That's why you get that crowd in peak performance, all the drug dealers giving me major shit, calling me this, calling me that, because I've done nothing but defended myself with true facts about a snitch. Listen, we're in a Crown Court trial. We're in Manchester Crown Square. The biggest judge in Manchester, Judge Madison, is conducting my trial. There's 4 of us in the dock. Me, Mark Richardson, Yinka Christian and Tony Bonehead from Kirkdale, right? 4 of us in the dock. 28-week trial. Yinka gets kicked out halfway through. Disappears. No charges, no offences. So we're in trial. And the prosecution are using all this information. We know this. They were wrecking in the garage. They were doing this. They went there. They went there. All information that could have only came from one of us. Okay? Now the prosecution is standing up using shit I've said to a particular group of people. There was only so many people in this group. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now the prosecution are using shit I've said in this group. So I'm clicking. Someone's talking. There's no... Because I know this never got said to no one else, only a certain group. So for the feds to find this out, we've either been getting listened to or there's a snitch. So they're starting to use all this evidence, people. Starting to bring all this evidence in. So we stand up and go, hang on. We want to question this evidence. Who has supplied this evidence? Where does this evidence came from? We need to challenge the substance and the truth about this evidence. Prosecution is saying, well, they don't want to produce the witness, they want to just use the evidence. And they're arguing with the judge to try and get this evidence in without disclosing where the evidence has come from. So now there's a big legal argument in the courtroom now about this evidence, all this golden information that they're using against me. Where the fuck's it come from and whose mouth has it came out of? We want to know as a defence team. So we have a little argument with the judge. The judge turns round and tells the fucking prosecution, yous need to disclose the identity of this witness by 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm going to the jail by 2 o'clock this afternoon. If you have not disclosed where this evidence has come from to the defence team, I'm acquitting everyone in the dock. We get sent down. This is what the judge said to the prosecution. I'm acquitting all the defendants in the dock if you don't produce the evidence from where this has come from. It's all truth, this. So now we go down for lunch. You know, it's a Jane 12 o'clock lunch. You go down for 2 hours. You have a butty pack, crisp pack and all this. And we're all down here. We're all in the same cells. All of us Yinka. All of us are here. All the codees are here. We're having our scam. We get called for legal visits. Bam, 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 bam. We all go out on our legal visits. No, see how the case is going. A little catch up. We all come off our legal visits and get back in the holding cell to eat our lunch. And Yinka's not there. Yinka's not there. Yinka had been took back up into court without us and being kicked out of the case by the judge and acquitted out the courts. He's gone already. Now we get in the dock and they disclose who the information come from. Tony Christian. And that's why Yinka was kicked out the court case without us knowing. He went home that day, little snitch. And that's the truth of what happened with me and the Christians and peak performance. And because I started shouting that about Tony Christian, Kevin Wheatman thought he was crazy. Started thinking he was mad with his firearms and shit. Do you understand? And that just escalated. So they tried to kill me on the step. The first time they bailed down that way. The second time it was chase mode for them. I've chased them. I've chased 2 gunmen off the estate. They've seen me, they've shouted me, I've said, what are your shit houses, come and do it. Chased them a little bit, they've ran up the state a little bit, turned around and started letting shots off with a 357 again. They use magnums all over the gaff in Liverpool. So it was a 357 again. They've let shots off at me. Haven't come near me, but put a window in that house and put a window down there, in that house down there, right? Now, when they've done the shooting, they've got off. So I've just like scoped it with them, you know, moved with them in the shadows, see where they were going. Guess where the two gunmen ran to? Have a guess where them two gunmen that tried to kill me that day, guess where they ran to straight after trying to shoot me dead? Straight into Peak Performance Gym. Two of them, straight into Peak Performance Gym. So you don't need to tell me what issues are there. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when I'm screaming about peak performance, and I'm screaming about them shithead rats that own Peak Performance, you understand why now, don't you? And it's not lies. I've got, what do I gain from telling that story? Do I get money? Do we get any pull? Do we get any fucking goodness coming from it? All I'm going to do is get more harassment from it. But it's truth. You know, that's what happened with Colin Christian, Brian Broad, and all that firm, Peak Performance, and the little jiu-jitsu gym facing it. It's all the same clique. You've got a jiu-jitsu gym under the Albion where they're teaching all that clique is just drugs. I've screamed it in the past, I don't need to carry on. Some of the biggest drug dealers in the city of Liverpool were attending Peak Performance when them two gunmen that tried to kill me ran in there. That's why I scream and shout about them shower of cunts. Ah.